2,824 days it has been since Rocket League was first released. 7 years and 269 days. And even after this long, people are still inventing new mechanics and new ways for players to get better at the game. For the past 3 years, many people in the Rocket League community believed that we had reached the skill ceiling, and pros at the highest level simply couldn't get much better. We all thought there was no new technique, mechanic, or strategy that would provide an instant improvement in a player's game. However, time and time again, we have been proven wrong. One of the most important examples of this in recent times is the wall dash. Even though technically the wall dash, and more specifically the chain dash, had been a mechanic for a long time. For years, people just thought of it as a gimmicky mechanic that has no effect on the way you play the game. So for many years, it was just a little fun mechanic to do, maybe as a celebration when you scored. And the main reason for that was because you couldn't control it, you would just keep going up to the ceiling. But at one point, someone released a video showing how you can control it, and showed how viable it could be used in a match. But still, even then, the mechanic felt too difficult to do, so the hype around it started to die. And then it wasn't until around last year that pros in RLCS started to use it. Players like AJ, Atomic, Atto, all considered top players in the world, were showing that the wall dash was highly effective even when playing against pros. So even though we thought there was no new mechanic that would be viable and useful enough to learn at the highest level, and even though we thought the skill ceiling couldn't get any higher, we still continued to see new mechanics that could be incredibly useful. And in this video, I'm going to go through 3 mechanics that we know of that, if implemented, could change the meta in Rocket League. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now the first mechanic that we are going to be looking at is a mechanic that has been getting more and more popular over the last 6 months or so, and that is the Zap Dash. It has been called other names like the Donkey Dash or the Landing Wave Dash, but to be honest, they sound pretty stupid. So I will be referring to it as the Zap Dash. The Zap Dash has been around for a while now, but like a lot of mechanics, it was always swept under the rug as a useless mechanic. That is, until an up-and-coming 1v1 player named Azapatos was seen using it in one show matches. Azapatos used the Zap Dash many times where he would use it as a recovery to get the ball or to get boost. And it wasn't until he started doing this against actual pros that people thought the Zap Dash could be viable. So Azapatos single-handedly showed that this mechanic could be extremely useful at the highest level of Rocket League, hence the name Zap Dash. So what is the Zap Dash? The Zap Dash is a type of wave dash that is done with your 2 front wheels landing on the ground first. Basically, you jump as your front 2 wheels land and that pops your car up, and then you do a normal wave dash. This is an extremely useful recovery mechanic because it can be used when landing a speed flip. So even with minimal boost, you can go from slow to supersonic just by speed flipping and zap dashing. Players like Azapatos, apparently Jack, and Dark have all shown how incredible this mechanic can be and how it could help change movement in Rocket League forever. Now, how do you actually learn this mechanic? Honestly, it's pretty simple, but you do need to know the speed flip for this mechanic to be effective. So if you don't know how to speed flip, then check out my speed flip tutorial in the description below. Or just go to my page, it's not that hard to find. So I'm going to break the mechanic down into 2 steps, the speed flip and the wave dash. And we are actually going to start with the wave dash because it's more difficult to get consistent. So what you are going to do is just jump and tilt forward so your front wheels land first. Now as the moment your front wheels land, you're going to want to jump again. This should pop your front wheels up into the air again, and all you're going to do is do a forward dodge, and that should propel your car forward like a normal wave dash. Now for the speed flip. It's pretty much just a normal speed flip, however instead of trying to land on all 4 wheels, you want to make sure your front 2 wheels land first. And in order to do this, you just want to slightly delay the flip cancel. It's difficult for me to say exactly how long you want to delay it for, however it's a very short delay, so just keep practicing it until you have it down. And once you have it down, put the 2 steps together and then you have the Zap Dash. The mechanic is actually fairly easy, it's just the timing you need to get down, but trust me when I say this mechanic is one you will definitely want to learn. Now for this mechanic, it's barely a new mechanic, it's kind of just another way of flipping. First time I ever saw this was a tweet from Twitch streamer HoodyWho talking about a new way to mount onto the wall. And I've tried to research this mechanic a little more, but because there is no name for it, this is the only thing I can find. However, since I first saw this tweet, I have seen other pros do it when I was watching their streams and it seems like it will be more frequent. There isn't a name for it, so I'll just call it the Mina Dash, as that's what it said on the tweet. Basically, the Mina dash is a way of jumping into the wall to keep or even increase momentum. Before, the most common ways to get onto the wall were to just drive up or to jump and wave dash onto it. However, both of those ways made you lose speed and momentum, meaning you would have to use more boost when you get onto the wall. So how does this work? The difference in this mechanic is on which way you flip. Usually you jump, tilt away from the wall, and then flip onto the wall. But with the Mina dash, you jump, turn into the wall, and then diagonal flip away from the wall. And this creates momentum going into the wall. So how do you actually do this? This mechanic is a lot easier and won't take you long to learn. All you need for this mechanic is to know how to flip cancel. Now I use Utopia Coliseum for this because it has the trim around the end, which I use as an indicator of when to jump. So go to this map in free play and follow these instructions. You're basically going to want to drive the wall at around a 45-degree angle. Just before you reach the trim, you're going to jump and tilt towards the wall. You're going to want to tilt back a little as if you're going for an aerial shot, then immediately flip to the opposite diagonal and flip cancel. For example, if the wall is on your left, you jump and tilt back and towards the left, then flip cancel to the diagonal right. It takes a bit to get the timing down right, and a lot of the times you just fly straight into the wall, but once you keep practicing it, you'll get it. Practice on both sides of the wall, and then you have the Mina dash. Now for the third and final mechanic that I think will help change the Rocket League meta is a mechanic that's actually been around for a long time, but has never been used in high-level Rocket League, and I'm not 100% sure why. And that mechanic is the curb dash, or curve dash. Now this mechanic has been around for probably one of the longest. It was around 2 years ago when I first saw it in a video by Rocket Science. And this video showed how you can get from 0 to supersonic with no boost way faster than usual. So what actually is the curve dash? Curve dash is the act of creating a wave dash as you go down the wall onto the floor. It is similar to the zap dash, but it's just done from the wall to the floor. Jumping at the right time causes your front wheels to pop up and allows you to wave dash, giving you way more speed than if you were to just drive down the wall. And Rocket Science does a great way of showing how useful it can be. He challenges a well-known streamer and ex-pro, Jesse, to save this shot with 20 boost. After many tries, Jesse finally saves the shot, and then it's revealed that the real challenge was to save the shot with 0 boost. And after seeing an ex-pro struggle so hard to do it with 20 boost, it shows just how effective the curve dash can be if it makes it possible to save with 0 boost. And I think, like usual, it takes a while for some mechanics to become meta, and this one especially as it's very situational. However, as we are getting closer and closer to the skill ceiling, people are getting to the point where they will learn anything even if it only makes a 1% improvement. So I can definitely see this mechanic being used in high-level gameplay very soon. So how do you do it? This mechanic is very simple and literally any rank can learn this with just a few minutes of practice. The timing is not that difficult. All you need to do is look at this line that separates the wall and the floor. Once your front wheels begin to cross that line, press jump. This will pop your wheels up a slight amount, and then all you want to do is forward dash as if you're doing a normal wave dash. This will propel your car forward with speed, and all you need is one more front flip or speed flip to get to supersonic. And it's as simple as that, so keep practicing the timing and you will have learned the curve dash. You might be wondering why I think these 3 simple mechanics could change the meta and how Rocket League is played. And that is simply because of the one thing that all these 3 mechanics have in common, and that is that they are movement mechanics that are used to keep and increase speed. The higher level in Rocket League you are, the more speed you need, and that means you need more boost. However, there is a limited amount of boost on the field at a time. So especially in a 3v3 setting where there are many times in a game where you are starved of boost, mechanics like these allow you to still reach a high speed even with low amounts. And the more situations you can find these types of mechanics and use them, the more situations there will be where you don't need boost to generate speed. Like, could you imagine that in an RLCS game where players are zap dashing, wall dashing, curve dashing, and Mina dashing in every situation that is possible? You would have players moving at supersonic speed non-stop for the whole game. Now obviously it might not happen right away, but I can imagine in 5 years or so, it's definitely possible that we will see the game evolve this way. So I personally believe learning mechanics like these could change the way we see the game played. But that is all I have for my video today. Usually when you think of meta mechanics, you're probably thinking of these huge mechanics like flip resets and ceiling shots. But now, where we are at a point where it's getting more and more difficult to discover big mechanics like those, I think minor movement mechanics like these will start to see the light of day. So I think learning these now, no matter what rank you are, you will still start to get ahead of the competition. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and also learned something from it. I would love to hear your thoughts and whether you think we will see these mechanics being meta anytime soon. If you did enjoy this video, I would love if you could like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. 98% of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you are one of those 98%, I would really appreciate it if you could just press that subscribe button. And if you want to support me further, then you can use my Epic Games creator code OneEyedGhoul when you buy something in the Support a Creator section in the Rocket League store. But anyways, that's all from me for now. I'll see you guys next time.